Hello everybody, Benga Latunki here. We shall be looking at ethical models of professional client relationship under corporate strategic management and ethics. So basically, relationship between a professional and his or her clients can be broken down into 4 parts, and that is what we will be looking at today. We'll be looking at the relationship between professional and clients, ethical relationship. And basically, to establish it before we move on, we need to understand primarily, first of all, that the relationship between clients and accountant or the professional so-called basically is broken into 4, and the difference between the 4, whether it's agency, whether it's paternalism or paternistic, whether it is contractual or is fiduciary depends on 2 critical things, and that is what we are establishing now before we move on. It depends on who has the authority and who has the responsibility for decision making. So authority and the responsibility for decision making basically makes a lot of difference in the definition. So I want us to understand this as we move on in the first place. So at the end of this video, you should be able to describe and define what ethical model of professional client relationship is and what is broken into, what agency means, what paternistic or paternism means, what contractual and fiduciary relationship means and entails. So we move them one after the other. So where should we start from? Let us start from paternistic. Let us start from paternistic because it seems basic, and also it seems the most complex, is the most basic and complex. So let's start from it. When we are talking about paternistic, basically it comes from the word paterna. Let me go into the slide. From the word paterna, paternistic. So like saying a father child relationship. So that is paternism or paternalistic relationship between a professional and his or her client. And it is simplistic in the sense that, like, every father has the responsibility to take decision and guide the child or the children. Don't forget that when I started, I was letting us to understand one thing, that the difference between what makes a lot of difference between those names and those relationships actually is about who has the responsibility and who has the authority to take decision. So in paternistic, the father. So now we'll be talking about the professional has the responsibility and the authority to take decision, and because of these two is a bit complicated. That means the in paternistic, the client does not have or does not even know anything about what is actually going on, but rather the authority, the knowledge, the technicality and responsibility for decision making actually lies with the professional accountant. So to understand paternism, it's help to think of the relationship between parents and children, like I said. So parents take decision on behalf of the children. That means they must have higher knowledge and deeper knowledge So likewise in paternistic. So when we are in a business client professional relationship in which our client does not know little or nothing about what they want or what it entails, so we'll say we are in paternistic relationship. Let me quickly pick one or two more things from the slide. In the paternistic relationship, the accountant has most of the decision making authority and responsibility and can make decision without the client's knowledge and consent, and this is of the greatest risk also, because if at the end of the day we make a decision that was wrong on behalf of our client, the whole thing may be messed up. So it's a relationship that we can say has the most risk in the 4 dimensions of professional client relationship that we have. So we've looked at its definition in its simplistic, is the most simplistic one, and also it seems to be the one that carries the greatest risk. It carries the greatest risk. So let us pick the other model of professional client relationship. Let us look at this one that is very common too: agency relationship. Basically, professionals, we usually find ourselves in agency relationship a lot. We usually find ourselves in agency relationship a lot. So what is agency and how can we find ourselves in agency relationship? So when we find ourselves in agency relationship, basically is client client professional relationship in which one employ the other for the purpose of representation. So power is and authority is delegated to the professional to use on behalf of the client. So now, unlike the paternistic, in agency, the authority seems now to lie on on the side of the client rather than on the side of the professional, while the professional is like the agent or acting, I think for better word, acting on behalf of the person that engaged him or her in a service. So that is agency relationship. The client has most of the authority. The client has most of the authority. Unlike paternistic, the professional has most of the authority. So agency, we have the authority and responsibility. The client rather has the responsibility and authority to take decision, but that responsibility and authority is being delegated to us, the professional, to act in good faith on behalf of our clients. Like relationship between accountant in employment and his or her employer, and a lawyer and client that he or she is representing. So we are acting in the capacity of agents, and we must deliver our professional expertise and have a world view and advise them correctly. So we are guiding. Our service is to guide. Meanwhile, the client should know what they actually want, but we will guide them to achieve it. I think that is it. We are help them to achieve it, but they must have understanding of what they want. Let's, for example, that client lawyer client relationship. Lawyer guide the his or her client to get out of trouble, but the client actually knows what trouble he or she is into, and what the lawyer needs to do is to guide him or her where necessary. to come out of it or to minimize the losses or punishments that the person could have. So the accountant carries out the client's instruction in agency relationship and provides information and possible advice, but the client makes the decision. We should not forget the client makes the decision in agency relationship, like external auditor and internal and client. The external auditor is hired or called to serve for the purposes of auditing the financials and possibly preparation of audit reports and presentation of the financial statements. So we are helping and guiding and advising the client to reach their aim, which is to present a true and fair financials to the public, were to be public organization, and also to the shareholders and generally the stakeholder. So basically that is what agency relationship entails. So we've discussed agency relationship, we've discussed paternistic relationship. Let us look at contractual relationship. Contractual relationship, from that word contractual, that is, a contract exists. So in a contractual relationship, the client and professional are having equal terms of engagement, of authority, of responsibility to take decision. So they are into contracts. Everything is well laid out and individual knows he or his or her responsibility in client relationship, client professional relationship. So there is a contract between them. So when we are talking about this kind of relationship, it exists when the accountant has some expertise or technical knowledge, which generally we do, that the client does not have. And the client equally hires us, the accountant, to provide it. So contractual now, just from the word contract. So like a firm of accountants, now when we are asked to provide an advice to a company, maybe on implementation of new laws, like we have Finance Act 2020 now, and like how to implement it and the like. So it's a contract, and immediately we execute the project, so we can see it as a project. Then the deal is done, then everybody moves on. So that is contractual basically, and of course it's a bit similar to the last but not the least that we should be looking at. I hope we can see the slide very clearly. I try as much as possible to make it. But last but not the least is fiduciary relationship. Fiduciary relationship. So this subsits between a professional and a client, and we have the obligation to act in the best interest of our client. Fiduciary, lawful. So it is lawful for us basically to act in the best interest of our clients. Here the professional has superior technical knowledge. So now in fiduciary we have superior technical knowledge, and of course, unlike the paternistic, in fiduciary relationship the client retains significant authority and responsibility to take decision. So unlike paternistic, in which it is absolute, the decision making is in absolute and it lies on the side of the professional. But like in fiduciary now, the client still retains and maintains a level of significant authority and responsibility to take decision. So here the client usually will depend on us for advice and gathering of information and the like, which can easily help them to make decision. But the power to make decision, the authority to make decision actually lies on them, and they should take that decision for themselves. If you are yet to subscribe to the channel and you are listening to us, please go and subscribe right away. Click the notification button like GJAMES Associates. We are value to life, we are value to business. Don't forget to comment should you have any question, and you can be sure of one thing: we will answer the question that you may ask us.